I can't believe it is already time for the October video update. And there's so much going on. It's been crazy. Obviously, a crazy year thus far, 2021. But on this front, podcast rocking, 2 episodes dropping every week. It's been so much fun to talk to these different guests. I'm really enjoying that. You can find it Danger Close Podcast, and that's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and the Jack Carr YouTube channel. The Terminal List Amazon series. Oh, when is that coming out? I'll never tell. Well, I'll tell you when Amazon says I can, but right now, still classified. Top secret stuff. But 8 episodes, and I've seen them all. Could not be more fired up about it. Are there differences between the book and the series starring Chris Pratt? Yes, there are. But that is natural. You're telling a story in a different way, telling it through a visual medium rather than on the written page, obviously. But could not be more thrilled. We're deep into the edits right now, and I get to watch those episodes and make my notes on those different versions, a director's cut, a producer's cut, or an editor's cut, all those things, and send those back in as we work to refine and get them to be the best they can possibly be. So super fired up about that. True Believer is out in trade paperback. That's my favorite version of the novels. And The Devil's Hand comes out in paperback on November 30th with a sneak peek at In the Blood. So that'll be very cool to get that out there as well. All right. What else is happening here? You know what? Let's do some negative reviews. And I don't encourage people who work in the creative space to spend too much time reading negative reviews about their particular subject matter, whether that's painting, sculpting, writing, acting, whatever it may be. Probably not too healthy to spend an inordinate amount of time in those reviews, but it's kind of fun to read some every now and again. So I'm going to read some of those now. Okay, this one right here. This is for the Terminal List. Here we go. And it says, John Reese. Well, it's James Reese. And you spelled Reese wrong, but regardless. John Reese of the Terminal List is nowhere near as interesting, nuanced, or even sympathetic as his peers. Reese's reaction to his wife and child's murder is laughable. Oh, wasn't going for that. He barely grieves. And no, his murder rampage does not count as emotional grief. Well, I'm sure there are books out there where someone's wife and child are killed and you spend the next 120,000 words with him just moping about and doing nothing. So those may exist. I don't have any recommendations for you on that front, but good luck with your search. Additionally, the author's insistence as portraying liberals as evil and corrupt really ruined the story for me. Well, lucky for you, you can hop ahead to The Devil's Hand, and you will find some Republican bad guys in there. Yep. I'm currently about halfway through, and I think I'm going to do something I almost never do, give up on a book. Never mind. Don't read any more books. I don't think we could be friends. No, just kidding. It's all right. This just isn't for you. Here we go. Here's another one. Different person here. Bit reluctant to purchase the novel because from what I glimpsed, the story sounds all too patriotic. What country are you writing this from? The fact that the author glorifies sniper rifles on his personal website doesn't do much to contradict that perception. Well, it's a professional website, and it's at officialjackcarr.com. If you want to go and check that out, go to the blogs. And I think the sniper ones are way down there from when I first launched the website. So you can go check that out if you want to know what sniper rifles I used in the military downrange. Check it out, but not this person, obviously. Okay, here's another one. Looks like in the author's mind, there is a cabal of high-ranking Democrats in the Pentagon working on destroying the U.S. military. Okay, here we go. Here's another one. Oh, this is a long one. So someone put some thought into this. So let's see. Let's see what he has to say. Did not finish with extreme prejudice after 49%. All right. Yeah, stars for creativity on that one. Love it. I think there's a limit on how much stupidity and boredom one man can take. I reached mine. Well, that's not very nice. All right. But hey, you only have so much time on this planet, so maybe there's something to be said for quitting early. Let's see. Let's be honest here. There is no plot. Don't tell Amazon Prime Video they just invested a lot of money in these 8 episodes with Chris Pratt, so I won't say anything if you don't. All right. Furthermore, there is too much technical information about guns. Guns times 3. Wow. Seriously, it's gun porn. The problem with all this useless info is that it takes any momentum the book is building and kills it. Dead. 1 to the heart and 1 to the head. Okay? 2 to the body, 1 to the head is, normally how it goes, but going right for that head. Respect. Sure, some readers may like this technical stuff, but it's supposed to be an escapism book, not a manual on how to operate your guns. Well, I wouldn't recommend using the novels as a manual on how to operate your guns. I'd recommend going somewhere like Thunder Ranch or to the SIG Academy and really putting some time, energy, and effort into it. So that's my recommendation to you. Here we go. Reese is a remarkable soldier. A sailor, but okay. But never actually does anything. Ooh, once again, don't tell Amazon. I guess they have Chris Pratt running around doing nothing for 8 episodes. Yikes. Yeah. Please don't tell them. All right, here we go. And this is the same person. Also, lots of patriotism in this book. Maybe he's friends with that other guy, which opted to go in the lines of, and these in quotes, which is interesting because this isn't actually in the book. Americans are good. The rest of the world is evil and everyone hates us, unquote. Well, that's not a quote from the book, but thanks for putting it in here as if it is. Seriously, haven't we had enough of this BS already? What, patriotism? Of course, all the women are attractive. Not all of them. I wonder if you actually read this book, but there are a couple. Give you that. Was it too much to ask for an entertaining thriller without this kind of nonsense? That's a political thriller, so perhaps choose a different genre. Okay, 1 star, 0 to be honest. Really disappointing. All right, well, you put some time into that review. All right, here we go. Wow, this one's really long. So over a page, almost a page and a half. Let's see what this person has to say. Let's see. It's often considered a faux pas to leave anything less than an absolutely glowing review if you are an author. Oh, this person's an author. Wonderful. It says he's an author in the indie author world. Okay, great. In this case, Mr. Carr will likely never read my review. And it certainly won't put a dent in his popularity and sales. Hey, you never know. Every little bit counts. And really how this all came about was a word of mouth deal that started well before I was on Rogan or Tucker or Chris Pratt announced anything about the series. And I do really like that. I like that I didn't get invited on those shows until after Savage Son hit the New York Times list. Then the other ones hit the New York Times list as well. But it's very cool because all of this came from word of mouth, from people taking a risk on me as a new author, and then telling a friend, leaving a review, although I like this. But that's what did it. It's veterans, it's hunters, it's tactical shooters, it's readers that took a risk on me and got the book out there and really spread the word. So I'll never forget that. And it's sincerely appreciated. Let's see, here we go. I have friends anyway, absolutely loved this book. That initially got me interested in it. Then I read the 1 and 2 star reviews and was concerned. I met Jack Carr in person and he was a nice enough guy. What does the terminal list do right? The action is top notch. Thank you. A little positivity in there. And it is clear that Carr's experience as a special warfare operator translates well into the page. When bullets start flying, the reader is immersed in the firefight. Thank you. That is very, very kind. What does it do wrong? Ooh, a lot more there. The whole rest of this thing, actually. Let's see. The scene where Reese loses his team, 0 buildup. I think of the 2004 Tom Jane version of The Punisher, a man driven solely by revenge. He's not smiling. He's not cracking jokes. He's still reeling from the death of his family. Reese acts a lot like the death of his family is well behind him, and it's noticeably jarring. Maybe you missed that chapter where he almost takes his own life there on the couch. But hey, that's how it goes. And I won't finish reading this because it'll just for the people listening. Okay, here we go. Let's jump forward to the Devil's Hand here. This is the Devil's Hand. Yeah. So I'm going to say the names because it's like first name. Won't say the last name. So I think that's makes it more personal here. Let's see. This is from Corey. Oh, Corey, thanks. The story might actually be interesting if Jack Carr wasn't such a terrible writer. Well, that's not very nice. The first book was enjoyable to read, and I was able to overlook his flaws. Not taking any of this personally, Corey. Don't worry. The second book was a significant step down, but not completely awful. All right. A little bit of a silver lining. Okay. The third book was just plain bad, and the characters just made me roll my eyes every time we heard about the Hastings and their perfect rich family. Now I see, Corey. Now I get it. I decided to give this one a go, The Devil's Hand, but I set my expectations low. All right. You're going for the fourth one, Glutton for Punishment. My God, was that a mistake? I'm done with this series. Well, I appreciate you giving it a shot for all 4 thus far published novels. Thank you. Not for you. I get it. Thanks for taking the time to let everybody else know that. Okay, this one's from Michael. I didn't read the first 3 books, but I decided to give this one a read anyway because I saw an interview where the author expressed his ignorant views about leftism on the increasingly crappy Joe Rogan Experience. Oh, well, I'm not going to tell Joe because I don't want to hurt his feelings. And wouldn't my ignorant views on leftism on an increasingly crappy podcast make you not want to get the book? Anyway, thanks for getting it. This book is really just a bunch of right-wing propaganda. I'm curious if you actually read the book because the bad guys are Republicans, but regardless, here we go. Okay. You've got some anti-gun control propaganda in there. Propaganda, also known as facts, but okay. There's also a character who is basically a war profiteer and John Birch Society type wingnut who whines about cancel culture and says things like, Breitbart was right. Well, I mean, for you, this guy was a bad guy, but regardless. I ended up not finishing the whole thing because it was so bad and so right-wing, it made me sick. Yes, don't read any further novels in my series. I'm concerned for your health and I do not want you to be sick. Here's one from Breck. All right. Jack Carr, I am sorry, but this book just isn't very good. Breck, points for honesty. I read all 4 novels in the James Reese series. Thank you. The first was horribly bad. Okay, but you stuck with it because you say the second, okay. The third was pretty decent. Man, tough reviewer. But this one is just really, really bad. 2 reallys. The plot is unoriginal with massive holes. Oh, I'm sure the scientists and doctors that I consulted in bioweapons and bioweapon medical research will be happy to hear that. The characters have had almost no development in 4 novels. And if I have to read about his branded Winkler, this. Are you referring to this, Breck? All right. Winkler, Sitka, Sig. Breck, you should turn this off right now. I'm telling you. Or Solomon, definitely. Turn this off, etc. Crap. One more time, I'm going to be sick. I get it. He's trying to find his way after leaving the SEAL teams, trying to find my way. Life's a journey. But it's so obvious he's now on track where he turns out 1 book every 12 months, regardless of how poorly and unoriginal it is. His Instagram followers, fueled by cool pictures of sweet gear, will buy this crap every single year. Well, that's not very thoughtful of you, Breck, but I recommend you stop following me on social channels. Don't go to officialjackcarr.com and read anything. And definitely do not buy book 5 in the Blood coming in 2022. Don't pre-order it, Breck. I'm warning you. Don't do it. And one more here. This is Fred Okay. Sick, manipulative, right-wing propaganda. The sort of book that really makes me fear for the future. Yeah, definitely do not buy anything else in the James Reese series. And probably don't watch the Amazon Prime Video series either. It's, you're not going to like it. Okay, that was so much fun. If you want to counter any of these, go to Amazon, go to wherever you leave book reviews, and hey, maybe leave a good one. Any of your favorite authors would appreciate you taking the time to do that. It really, really means a lot to us. So, so thank you. And thank you to all these negative reviewers who give me some pretty good material to work with. And I'll right now take all that negativity and toss it where it belongs. Okay, let's see. Want to go to some gear? Let's do some gear. Winkler knives, awesome. Thank you for sending me this new coffee cup. Awesome. Fuel my writing as I finish up this this next novel here. And of course, Winkler, boom, the tomahawk. Will James Reese use this in the Amazon Prime video series? What do you think? I'm thinking probability is high. Very cool. Okay. What else do we have here? SIG, look at this. Okay. This fire control unit, if you've seen these, this allows you to get this and drop it into something like this without having to buy the entire 365 P320, whatever it is you're working on, and drop. This is a module from Icarus Precision. These things are so nice. You can just tell how well machined these are. I'm going to be taking this fire control unit, putting it into this from Icarus Precision, and having Parker Mountain Machine work on the slide barrel, get that on here. And I will for sure be talking about it in Instagram posts at JackRUSA and on these videos as well. So I cannot wait to get this rocking and rolling, because I think this is going to be my go-to. Just awesome. Just awesome. Solomon, thank you for sending these. Man, for those who've been following me for a while or who have known me for most of my adult life, I pretty much live in Solomon's day to day. So thank you for throwing these my direction. I appreciate it. I'm going to get these out on the trail shortly. So thank you, Solomon. Awesome. And let's see, Flip Flop Guy. Look at this. So this is awesome. This guy grew up in Northern California, not far away from where I did. And he has this family recipe that he has put together here. So go to flipflopguy.com, flipflop guy on Instagram. And he's been working on this recipe for a long time. Family recipe, pass it down to him, grandfather to father to son, and just awesome. So check it out. Cool family story and absolutely delicious sauces, especially if you do it the way that he describes. And so very cool. So thank you so much for passing these along. Awesome. What else do we have here? I'm going to go over here to a book. All right. Mark Roberts, man, thank you. Wineserviceconsulting.com. I got home from a trip to Alaska recently, and so cool. This letter, Mark, thank you for writing this. Really meant a lot to me. And thank you for sending this book here. I think it is 1868, and it is Life of General Grant by J.S.C. Abbott, 1868. So I'm going to treasure this, and I'm a little reluctant to even read it just because 1868. So thank you for sending this along. It means a lot to me, especially in light of current events, where we saw President Lincoln have to go through general after general after general until he got to Grant. When we juxtapose that to today, and we see general after general after general just continue to get promoted as they sit in front of Congress and say how much progress we're making in Afghanistan, how much we just need a little more money, a little more funds, a little more troops, whatever it might be, and then get that next star, and then move on into the private sector to sit on a board of a company that is directly connected to the defense industry. So very different times back then. Very different in World War II also, with General George Marshall firing general after general after general until he got to the ones that we all know, and those ones that got us through World War II to victory. So Mark, thank you so much for sending this. It means a ton to me. And let's see. Okay. So I talked a few weeks ago about this new Microsoft Surface computer that I am going to finish in the blood on right here. So looking forward to doing that. But somebody heard that I had a new computer and they wanted to protect that computer, which I appreciate. And they sent me some body armor for my new laptop. So this is from Premier Body Armor right here. And who doesn't need a body armor for your computer? In your backpack like that also acts as some body armor. So this is sweet. So thank you guys for sending this. This is just too cool. Absolutely love it. And you also sent some other goodies. In the last update, I talked about these beer koozies that are also body armor for your beer can. Very important. And this time I have body armor in a wallet. So awesome. Look at that. Nice. So thank you guys. Really appreciate it. And oh man, so this was super cool. Got back, like I said, from Alaska, and there were a few things waiting for me. This was one, and this is from Mac Cutting Boards. I don't know if you can see this whole thing here, but they make some incredible cutting boards. They make these American flag cutting boards that I think every American needs in their kitchen, and also make great gifts, by the way, particularly for a Father's Day. Hey, how about a Mother's Day also? And 4th of July, of course, Thanksgiving, Christmas, we'll be using ours for all those events. But look at this. They made this thing for me and has the cross tomahawks right here. They also do custom boards, obviously. And look what they put in here. Coffee beans. Yep. My fuel right there. Some red, white, and blue stars. Yep. Patriotic. I like it. And Mac Cutting Boards, the guy who runs it is a retired firefighter in California. So I love that as well. Got some bullet casings in here, some brass. Awesome. Love it. Got some 5.56 in there. Got some 9mm. Looks like 45 right there. And what is that? I'm not sure about that. It might be a through. I don't know what that is, but super awesome. And Trident. Love it. Incredible. And got the Defender right there. So that's so cool. Thank you so much. Mac Cutting Boards. Once again, go to maccuttingboards.com. Check them out. Get that American flag cutting board. Get a custom cutting board for your business or for some friends or whatever. They do awesome work. So thank you guys. Really appreciate this. It's just awesome. I don't want to cut on this one, though. I think this one's going to remain one that I don't cut on just because it's super cool. So thank you. And let's see. SOG knives. Look at that. Okay. This thing right here, super light. This one's called the Terminus. Yes. So I've been carrying this one a couple weeks now, and man, super light. Absolutely love it. Buddy at SOG Knives sent it to me to try out. And yeah, this thing is the one that, if you followed me for a while, you know that the folders in my pocket are the one that open all the boxes, that sort of thing. The fixed blades, like the Amtac, the Dynamis blade, those are the ones that are reserved just for fighting. So I know that they are sharp when they come out. And something like this is what I use cutting cardboard rope, just doing the day-to-day work. So very cool. So thank you, SOG. Appreciate that. And Black Rifle Coffee Company, what did you send? Love the box. And this is the exclusive Coffee Club subscription. Look at that. And let's getting some Miami Vice vibes here. Pink 79. Look at that. Oh yeah. Check out that artwork. Yeah. 40 Mike. Love it. Awesome. So that is there. You can sign up for the Coffee Club and get new coffee every month, different from your regular subscription. So very cool. 10,000. Man, they sent me some workout shorts, and I don't know if it's a hint that I need to get back in shape, but these things were, had a lot of input from a lot of friends actually out there, former special operators trying to make the ultimate workout short. And I think they have succeeded. So 10,000, thank you for sending these. I'm going to get back after it because it's past time. So thank you for sending that. I got this book. So this is called The First Marauder by Luke Ryan, a veteran. And yeah, this is, it says, Luke Ryan is a third culture kid, a veteran, a marketing nerd, and an author who aims to make sense of his experiences through made-up stories and poetry. But I love this cover right here. Super cool. So looking forward to checking this out. Once again, Luke Ryan, thank you for sending this my direction. And let's go here. What is this? Wood Cabin Candle Company. Very cool. Check this out. So I did open it. I did sneak a peek earlier, but I didn't open the actual candles. But so cool. Love the packaging. I have 3 right here, and they all have a different, let's see, the wilderness, canyons and creek, in the mountains. So very cool. So thank you so much for sending this along. Let's see what they look like. Let's check it out. Have not opened one yet, and I'll open it with SOG. Let's see.
And, oh yeah. So that's very cool. Nice packaging, guys. Awesome. And oh yeah. So they come in this jar right there, and you open it up. Look at that. If you can tell, different kind of a wick than you're used to in a normal candle. So cool. Yep. I think this is this family-owned small business. So very cool. Wood Cabin Candle Company. You can follow them on Instagram as well and check out their website. They also sent this, I saw. Look at this thing. A wick cutter. This I can say is my first wick cutter that I've ever been gifted or ever owned. So thank you so much. Very cool. Really appreciate you sending all this along. All right. We're moving right along. And let's talk a little bit about boot campaign. So the boot campaign, here's the shirt right here. You matter. And here they are right here. But check out bootcampaign.org. You can follow them on Instagram at bootcampaign, and veteran-focused organization working with veterans suffering the physical and emotional trauma of the battlefield, focused on health and wellness. This past September was Suicide Awareness Month, but it's really, for a lot of us who have friends that have taken that route, unfortunately, every month, really, we're thinking about that. Every week, every day, we're thinking about those friends. So what can you do? Well, jump on bootcampaign.org, check that out. And if you think you know someone who's hurting, particularly a veteran, doesn't have to be a veteran, but right around now when we're thinking about our time in Afghanistan as a country, were those sacrifices worth it, especially seeing the withdrawal? If you have a veteran that you know who you think is hurting, they probably are. So reach out, let them know you're thinking about them, and offer that hand. But hey, check out bootcampaign.org, and they'll give you a lot more information on that. So you matter. Hey man, just don't let this war take any more of us. So anyway, bootcampaign.org, check it out. And I got some things behind me. Oh, yep. Another Wood Cabin Candle Company. Oh, and this one, got to do this one because I had opened this one earlier too to sneak a peek. And this one, Deadwood, Winchester, and Winter. I have a feeling that Deadwood and Winchester might be my favorites. So that'll be really cool. Thank you guys. Super cool. And before I get, boot campaign. Look at this. Texas blended whiskey, Firestone and Robertson. Ooh, looking forward to checking that out. So thank you. And before I get to the books, the monthly reading list, I did do another video where I just opened this. This is a Cabot pistol, 1911. So I'm going to post that separately, but I'm also going to open it again right here, even though it's not the first opening. But I want to share it with you because it's very cool. And I've known the guys at Cabot Gun in Pennsylvania for a long time now. I have another pistol of theirs. It was a gift for my military retirement, and it's incredible. But amazing company, and just love what they're doing out there at Cabot. Check them out, cabotguns.com, and also follow them on Instagram, Cabot Guns. Look at this. I mean, I don't know if you can read that or not, but super cool. Thank you guys for taking the time to do this. Absolutely incredible. And here is the pistol. They put some thought into this, obviously, and very cool. But check that out. All right, there. I don't know if you can see it, but does it say right there? The Devil's Hand. Yeah, for some of those people who read or who left those bad reviews, The Devil's Hand. Yeah, maybe don't follow Cabot Guns. Might not be for you. But yeah, this is so awesome. So much detail in here. I mean, incredible job. Rob, thank you so much for sending this. It is just beyond cool. Got Bone Frog on there, Cross Tomahawks on here, the Devil's Hand on here, and then on the back right here, Bone Frogs as well. So, so thank you so much. Sincerely appreciate this. I can't wait to shoot it. Awesome. Wow. Blow me away. Whew. Okay. I think that is the gear. So what does that mean? It means it is time for the books. So each month I talk about typically 6 books that impacted me at some point during my journey, either as a combat leader, as an author, a husband, a father, citizen. And I talk about 6 of them, talk about where I was when I read them, how they impacted me. But this month, I'm going to do something a little bit different. And I picked 7 books that I think all Americans should read in 2021. So I know that's a lot to read, 7 before the end of the year. So you might just want to pick 2. And out of this 7, I'll let you know in a moment which 2 I recommend. But yeah, 7 books. And, they're not all books, obviously, but let's start with this one, the Bible. And with everything going on in the world right now, how divisive social media encourages us to be, and what seem to be irreconcilable differences between both sides of the political aisle, maybe it's a good time to revisit this, particularly Matthew and the Sermon on the Mount, where we get the golden rule. And what's the golden rule? Do your kids know it? Treat others as you would like to be treated, or some variation thereof, depending on the translation. But Holy Bible is particularly that Sermon on the Mount in Matthew might be a good one to revisit, as it's I don't know, as things are just, I don't know, it's hard to even put it into words, how mean people can be on social media, and how it encourages us to just go for the throat. So try to realize what's happening there, and maybe take some time away from the social channels and revisit some of this advice. So right there, the Bible, probably a good thing to read. Talking to Strangers, Malcolm Gladwell. Once again, I've had this on the reading list before, and if you've been following me for a while, you know what a fan I am of Malcolm Gladwell. Just an incredible guy. I hope to have him on the podcast at some point. But here's his line at the end. I mean, it's very, very simple here. Because we do not know how to talk to strangers, what do we do when things go awry with strangers? We blame the stranger. So yeah, it's just interesting how in this particular book, how it came out in 2019, before things started to go haywire, obviously with COVID and a summer of insanity and this crazy political season and things that are going on now. But Talking to Strangers, very important book, especially as told through the lens that Malcolm Gladwell applies. So check it out, Talking to Strangers, Malcolm Gladwell. The Constitution of the United States of America. And don't just look it up online. I encourage everybody to get a hardcover copy of the Constitution and put it in a place of honor in the house. 1, because it's important. And 2, for kids, it shows that, hey, it's different than these other things that you're just going to look up online and then go on to the next thing that you're distracted by. Get this. Put it in the house. You can also grab the Declaration of Independence and put them next to each other in the house, kind of set it above all those other things that we look at online on a daily basis. But it's not very long. You can read this. And I suspect that some members of Congress have not read this document. I believe others may have read it, may have skimmed it, and then look at it as an impediment to more power that they want to grab from the American people. And remember, those people in Congress, the president, they are our elected officials. They are our employees. And they should probably read this document, as should every citizen. So encourage you to read this with your kids. Don't just leave it up to the school system to take a day or 2 days to go through different parts of the Constitution and then talk about it in a way that the teacher seems fit. Do this as a family. It's important. Constitution of the United States of America. Get it. All right. The Afghanistan Papers. So as you can tell, I made some notes on this one. This just recently came out by Craig Whitlock. He's going to be a guest on the podcast. By the time this video drops, I think he will already have been a guest on the podcast, but I'm so looking forward to talking to him. Read this book, obviously made my notes. And what he did here is the Washington Post had to sue the federal government under the Freedom of Information Act for access to some files that were not classified, but that the government didn't want to turn over. And what these files have are interviews with different people at all all levels, but what is very interesting and very telling are the interviews with these senior level officials and these senior level generals who say one thing to the American public, say one thing to Congress, say one thing to their troops, and then are interviewed for what is now called the Afghanistan Papers, and talk about how they really don't know what's going on. It's just incredible. So every American should read this, particularly this year with the withdrawal that we all watched in August. And if you're wondering why we went to Afghanistan in the first place, a lot of us thought that was pretty clear. But what became increasingly unclear is why we stayed there for 20 years, that mission creep, that mission drift, and why senior level leaders were never held accountable. There is one that was in here, and you can read about that in the Afghanistan Papers. But why was he fired? Not for incompetence. No, because he told the truth about the war. That gets you fired, not losing wars and wasting the lives of America's sons and daughters and our national treasure. So anyway, Afghanistan Papers, read this book. Can't stress that strongly enough. Ayn Rand, Atlas Shrugged. Have you read it? Do not be intimidated by how thick this is. Think of it as you can use this as a door stopper, as a weapon if you need to. But it is a thick book. But it is one that every American needs to read. If you haven't read it, if you've been putting it off, make this your year. I encourage people in junior high, high school for sure, college for sure, and anybody out of college or in the workforce that didn't go to college, doesn't matter. Read this book. All citizens should read this book. Obviously, better to read it a little earlier on and then revisit it later in life. But if you're already later in life, it's not too late. Read this book. Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged. All right, 1984. If you can't figure out why I'm recommending this book this year, well, then I definitely need to read it. So I'll read one passage here, and I think I've done this before, but and I've had this on the reading list before as well. And it says, every record has been destroyed or falsified. Every book has been rewritten. Every picture has been repainted. Every statue and street and building has been renamed. Every date has been altered. And that process is continuing day by day and minute by minute. History has stopped. Nothing exists except an endless present in which the party is always right. Read it. Okay. And 3 felonies a day. Once again, I've had this on the reading list before. I think it was written in 2009, if memory serves, but I've had this on the reading list before. Once again, so important. And really the theme of this book is, and it's by Harvey A. Silverglate, is that the average person gets up, goes to work, has lunch, comes home, has dinner, tucks the kids into bed, goes to sleep. And throughout the course of that day, unbeknownst to them, they've committed 3 felonies because of how many laws are on the books and how broadly those laws have been written by design. So definitely read this if you have not yet. Those 7. But if you think 7 is a little too much, I understand, it can be a little bit overwhelming. What are the 2 that I would most highly recommend this year? I'm going to pick those up because those have some of the books that I want to recommend. Okay, if you can only do 2, boom, Atlas Shrugged and the Afghanistan Papers. Read these this year, gift them to your kids this year, and I think it'll add for a better foundation moving forward from which to make decisions and hopefully apply a little wisdom to the problem sets we're dealing with as a country. So anyway, those are the ones that I would recommend if you're only going to read 2. All right. That was everything. That is the October video update. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, you can go to officialjackcarr.com, see what I have going on there. You can go to Jack Carr USA for the merch. I think hats are inbound. There's a bunch of other stuff you can check out on there as well. Be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review if you like the podcast. And pre-order In the Blood coming in 2022. All right.
Thank you so much for watching. Sincerely appreciate it. Take care out there. Stay strong. Keep fighting.